Are you looking to level up your rhythm playing with muting and syncopation for a more sophisticated sound? Look no further, because this song has all that with simple major seventh chords, which are like the musical equivalent of the golden hour lighting, where everything just sounds a bit warmer and more elegant.
Duh! It's called the golden hour!
The light takes on a special quality.
I know what it means, but...
Then you know it's the best time to record stuff, so...
Film! It's the best time to record things on film. It cannot possibly have any effect on recording audio.
That's so cheesy, but I kind of love it. Oh, man. Hey everyone, I'm AJ Hansen of Level Up Your Guitar, where I teach cool songs organized into structured playlists level by level that make you better fast. If you're new here, welcome. Hit the subscribe button because I post fresh guitar lessons every week. And before we dive in, quick housekeeping. Full tab sheet music for this song is available in the description below, transcribed by yours truly. And if you're looking for personalized guidance to accelerate your playing, I offer private lessons. Links for everything are down in the description. All right, let's get to it. Tin Man by America has 3 main sections with 2 measures each. We'll cover the intro, the verse, and the chorus. Each section has its own personality, but they all share a syncopated rhythmic approach that might sound tricky at first, but don't worry, I've got a counting method that'll make it click instantly. Alright, looking at the sheet music in the intro, we've got this C/D chord, that just means when you see slash chords, it's a C major chord with the note D as your bass note or the lowest note. So we've got this little C major triad, but we're playing the D string open. So I'm gonna interrupt myself already. This song is just like quintessential, like late 60s and like 70s sound. I forget exactly what year this was made, but that major chord with the ninth in the bass, you know, you hear that. That's like, to me, that just screams the 70s and I love it. So it's a very cool sound. So you're gonna put your index finger on the E string 3rd fret, pinky on the B string 5th fret, and ring finger on the G string 5th fret. And you'll start strumming from the D string all the way down. So it's got that nice dreamy sort of sound. So now the rhythm. So I did include some of the rhythmic dictation in the sheet music. You see the 1, and E4. And in the second measure, same thing, but a different counting method. So let me go over that. So you can see that the strumming pattern goes down, up, down, up, down. But you can't do it that way. Now, what we have here is a mixture of dotted 8th notes and 16th notes, which are tied to other 8th notes. So really, those 2 rhythms are the exact same amount of time. So it's the equivalent of 3 16th notes. So you would have, and I'll bring up the sheet music actually, so you can kind of see what's going on here. So we've got, if you were to count out every single 16th note, which is 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, this dotted 8th note would be 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So that's like the typical, like how you would, you know, learn the rhythm or analyze it, but counting that could be kind of difficult. So it would sound like 1 and E4. That doesn't give you those moments, since these are grouped into 3 16th notes. I think looking at the second measure, where you can see I've got it grouped in groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then a longer 1, 2. So I think that's a better method, but I wanted to show both versions of this. So what does that rhythm sound like in the first measure? So internally, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So every time you say the number 1, you're going to either strum down or strum up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And in that fourth beat, it's a little bit longer. So you could say, 4E anda since it happens on beat 4, or you could just go 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Something like that. That to me is an easier way of counting. I did hear this in an interview with John Petrucci. It was just like, yeah, I don't do a lot of that typical counting. If you just count to 2s and 3s, you can pretty much cover most rhythms you're ever going to run into. And once I had that light bulb moment scorched into my brain, I was like, oh, okay, so let me try it. So that's typically how I count a lot of times, but we'll break that method probably in the chorus. So now this next chord, which looks like an algebra equation, D7 with no third, with D in the bass, it looks scary, but it's really simple because the ring finger is going to stay put, and you're just going to swap the position of your index and pinky. So the pinky goes down, the index goes up. So you'll have the ring finger on the G string 3rd fret, index finger on the B string 3rd fret, and then pinky on the E string 5th fret. And that's what that one sounds like. And you'd apply the same strumming pattern. That same 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So let me demonstrate that. Now, before I go off into the verse, another thing that I noticed as I was playing that I want to make sure you're aware of, when you watch my strumming arm, I'll go back to this so you can see my arm a little bit better. What I'm not doing is strumming and then sticking at the bottom or at the top. So if I'm doing the down strum, I don't keep my hand here, and when I strum up, I don't lock up here. I'm keeping my arm pretty buoyant. One way that I demonstrate this actually is if you remember the rubber pencil trick, that's how your arm and hand should feel. It's just nice and loose. So I'm keeping that consistent down, up motion instead of sticking when I reach the end of the trajectory of my strum. In the verse, we've got 2 major 7 chords. We've got a G major 7 chord. Now this shape is very easy to memorize. So it basically just looks like a flight of stairs. So index finger goes on the E string 2nd fret. Middle finger on the B string 3rd fret, ring finger on the G string 4th fret, and then pinky on the D string 5th fret. So again, very angelic, heavenly sounding. We got our G major 7 chord, and now I'm going to bring up the sheet music one more time, because even though it's much busier and we're adding some muted strumming, which we'll also talk about, it's the same rhythm. Like the points where you see the numbers, not the muted, these line up. So this lines up with this. The last note of beat 1 ends up here. The and of 2 matches up here. The E of 3 is here. And then beat 4 is here. So you're still playing the same rhythm, we're just adding more information inside. And again, with the rhythmic dictation, now we're not doing dotted 8th notes, a little bit shorter, so we can stick in these muted 16th note strums. We've got 1 E. Now you can see in some of these beats I've got notes in parentheses. That's the extra 16th note beat that's being consumed by the main beat or what's being played. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and So what does this sound like? I'll play both measures so that we get a little bit more context. So we've got our staircase shaped G major 7. So we've got a down and then a muted down. Now, one thing that a lot of people who are new to muted strumming will do is they'll see the muted and then they'll let go and do something like this. Most of the time, I would say 95% of the time, maybe more, when you do a muted strum like this, all you have to do is just release the pressure. So if you're letting it ring out, and that point where all the sound dies, but you're still keeping the same chord shape, you're still touching the strings, that's all you need to do. So generally, if you're muting a chord progression, you just need to release the pressure but still stay in contact, because you can see in the next strum, the down, down, up, you need to push back down again. So you want to be close by, otherwise it's going to be hard to jump up and back. So all of beat 1 sounds like this: down, down, up. So that gets us well into beat 2. So now we'll add the next up, down, which would be a mute and then a clear chord. And that gets us into beat 3, where we'll add another down, up, which will be mute and then clear chord. And now we're into the final 16th note of beat 3, which will be an up mute and then a down clear chord. And then the last two 16th notes are a muted strum. We've just finished the first measure of the verse, the entire G major 7 chord. Now we're going to go into C major 7. So I'll talk about how to make the C major 7 shape, and then we'll also talk about how to transition into that chord before we move on with the rest. So the C major 7 starts with the index finger on the E string 3rd fret, pinky on the B string 5th fret, middle finger on the G string 4th fret, and ring finger on the D string 5th fret. So this is a different voicing of a major 7 chord. Now, one thing that I want to point out, and it's good to occasionally take inventory of how your fingers are actually moving. And even though these look like two totally different shapes, I would argue that they look somewhat similar. So if you look here, our index and middle create this diagonal shape, and then even continued on with the ring finger. So again, we've got the stair shape and then the pinky. Well, when we go over, all we have to do is ditch the pinky for now and move these two fingers up. So it still has that staircase shape. It's just that you stretch it a little. So that first step, you got to make a big leap. And then you can put the pinky down on the B string. So if you just watch fingers 1, 2, 3, they basically have the same shape, just a little bit stretched out. So just something that might help with memorizing these shapes and just making it a little bit stickier to remember. Now that we've got the chord sound, we should actually talk about the transition point at the end of beat 4 of the first measure and getting into that. So there's 2 things I'll talk about. So the first thing is when you practice this, you should just stop right there on beat 1, that initial switch. Because what often happens, I see this in my lessons all the time, your brain is going to think about the rest of the song or the rest of the next measure, and you're probably just going to get like confused or whatever. So what you should do is just ignore all that and just get that switch down. And just stop right there, even hold it, listen to it, enjoy it. And just go that far. Now, one other small detail that'll make a big difference is when you do those final muted strums before the switch to the second measure, you can use that time, and this is a very common technique. You can use that down-up muted strum on the and of beat 4 to still mute the strings, but you start moving. So you're moving and muting at the same time. So during that down-up mute strum before the C major 7 kicks in, my fingers are starting to look a bit like this. Oops. Now I forgot the chord shape.
Oh, well, pardon me, Mr. Perfect! I guess I forgot that you never ever make a mistake!
So just wanted to point that out because that will help you a lot with getting a nice smooth transition. So you don't need to clamp down there and wait for the last second to get into the second measure. So now that you've perfected that, we're into the second measure with the C major 7, and it's the exact same rhythm, same muting techniques. So you've got down, mute, down, up. And then up mute and down, up mute, and then a up mute, and then a down, followed by a down mute, up clear, up mute, down clear, and then a muted down up. And you probably already guessed when you reach the end, you're going to repeat go back to the G major 7. When you're doing the final 2 mutes, use that time to start forming that G major 7. So now I'll play the entire verse, and I'll repeat it 4 times like in the song. And there's the whole verse. So now we can move on to the chorus. So the interesting thing here is we're going to have a new rhythm in the first measure, and then the second measure is going to be the same rhythm we were just doing in the verse. And the chord shape, that's where it gets easy, because you're going to use that G major 7 shape, which will be in the second measure, but for the first measure, you just slide it up where your index is in the 7th fret. So for this other voicing of C major 7, we've got index on the E string 7th fret, middle finger on the B string 8th fret, ring finger on the G string 9th fret, and then pinky on the D string 10th fret. In terms of the skeleton of the chorus, you're using this C major 7 in the 7th fret, and then you slide it down to the 2nd fret back to our original G major 7. So if you need to, just get used to that big leap. And do what I did there, where, start slow if you're not used to it, but also just test how fast you can go. Even if it's not perfect, you should use speed once in a while, even early on, because you're going to need to move pretty quickly in the song, so you may as well introduce your fingers to what it feels like to play fast, even if it's not perfectly accurate. That's what a lot of people get hung up on with trying to play fast, whether trying to play single note lines or switch chords fast. They take their time and stuff, but it's like, well, this is supposed to go fast. Why don't you just introduce your hands what it feels like to go fast, even if it's not perfect. So let's get into the chorus and how to play that different rhythm. Let me demonstrate it first. In the first measure with the C major 7, this has 4 straight 16th notes going down, up, 1 E and then an 8th note on beat 2, a down strum. So it goes 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2. Now we're going to borrow from what we did earlier, a muted down strum, and then a clear up strum. Now once we're into beat 3 is a 16th note rest, so it'll just be silence there. And you'll do another up strum, and I think we'll even include the next up strum, which is on the final 16th note of beat 3. And then going into beat 4, we're just going to add beat 4, so it'll be a down strum with a clear chord. So we've got 1 E and a 2 and a E, a 4. 1 E and a 2 and a E, a 4. And then we've got 2 more 16th note muted strums going down, up. And you probably guessed it again, we're going to use that time while we mute to move down to the 2nd fret, G major 7. And now that we're into the second and last measure of the chorus and of the song, when you get into that G major 7, it's the same rhythm we did earlier in the first measure of the verse. And then again, when you play the final down up in the G major 7, you're going to use that time to move back to C major 7. Now, one thing that happens in a lot of beginner songs and even some lower level intermediate songs, I call it the Lord of the Rhythm. Usually songs have one rhythm. I usually say one rhythm to rule them all, because you're just using that one rhythm to glue the entire song together. You just play it beginning to end. The next step in rhythmic playing is to play two different rhythms back to back, in two measures back to back. So this is a good example of being able to do that stuff. Now, what I would recommend is to get one rhythm down really solid. Now, that's probably going to be the second measure, because you've already done it in kind of the intro and all of the verse. You've already done this. So then going into this busier rhythm during the C major 7, you might have to slam on the brakes a few times, but just take your time with it. And that's why I put the rhythmic dictation in there. So when you're away from your instrument, start memorizing how to say these rhythms, where you have the 1E and a 2 and a E, a 4 and a 1E and a 2 and a E, a 4 and a 1E and a 2 and a E, a 4 and a 1E and a 2 and a E, a 4 and a... Just start saying that and get into a groove. Play with it. It doesn't need to be so serious. Like, even just kind of poke fun at it. That's one thing that I tell my students a lot is, I love jokes, hence my memes and my videos. Even though, like, I haven't figured out a character to play on YouTube, like, I love joking around. And I love kind of poking fun at music so that I'm not so serious all the time and just have some fun. That's why we call it playing guitar and not working guitar. You can work hard, but you can still play. And so you can still have respect and reverence for whatever you're playing, but make fun of it. Like, just, like I'm swinging it there. It's not how it's played. I'm just kind of making fun of it. So it's, a bit tongue-in-cheek. So have fun with the rhythm. 1E and a 2 and a E, a 4 and a 1E and a 2 and a E. And then as you start grooving into it, you can relax and go 1E and a 2 and a E, a 4 and a 1E and a 2 and a E, a 4 and a... That's how I made counting fun for me, just because it was like every time I had someone try to teach it to me when I was younger, I was like, oh my gosh, this is... It was like, for dry, red eyes, clear eyes is awesome. It was like, oh my gosh, what a snooze fest. Because I played more by feel before I went to college, and I just felt the stuff out. So I could play complicated rhythms, but as soon as, like, it's the classic joke of, like, how do you get a guitarist to shut up, put sheet music in front of them? That was a funny joke, but I also took it a little bit personally. I'm like, I don't want to be that guitarist. I want to learn how to read and do this stuff. So once I figured out a way to kind of just have fun with it, it started really clicking. So I would recommend doing those sort of things and just playing games with it. So let me play that chorus one more time. And once you finish the chorus, you're going back into the introduction. So again, at the top of the sheet music, I've got the order, the arrangement, so you can just follow that. There's only 3 parts, so if you know the song, like you've listened to it a lot, but you haven't learned it before, you should pretty easily be able to follow along with it just by, anticipating what's coming next. But it's an awesome song. Absolutely love this one. All right, and that's Tin Man by America. If this lesson helped you out, smash the like button and subscribe for more cool songs with practical techniques. And don't forget to download the free sheet music in the description. It's got all the chord diagrams and tablature we covered today. And if you want personalized guidance to take your playing further, check out the link for my private lessons. If this guitar lesson helped you out, smash the like button, subscribe for more lessons, and drop a comment below letting me know how you're doing with this song. And check out some of my other playlists that'll be in the corner somewhere. Keep playing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.
Oh, was I supposed to be recording that?
Great!